We are all pioneers, baby. No big deal. Look at this. Lovely. No scout left behind. Mercy. Fun stuff. Don't know why we do it. I guess we're preparing for grid down, baby. Welcome back to the channel. I can't promise I got a lot of sleep last night, so I hope this video makes sense. We just got done with the scout camp out up at my cabin, and it was a lot of fun. Not a lot of sleep. And just for the record, it's not just the leaders that snore. There's 6 leaders. Yeah, there's a lot of snoring, but there was with those youth too. And so there was no sleep whatsoever. And I didn't contribute to the snoring. I know this because I would wake myself up, I'm sure. Anyway, today I wanted to share with you the results of our experiment of painting the black wall, the back wall of the greenhouse, the thermal mass wall. I painted half black and left the others to see what that would change with the temperature of that wall. Today is a beautiful full sunlit day, so you're gonna see the greenhouse performing in the winter with full sun. The last week and 2 weeks has been winter with hardly any sun. So this is a different story. But I wanted to start out first with just a reality check. You know, as I was taking these scouts, these young men up on this camp out, you know, I was just kind of thinking, well, I wonder how many groups of kids are doing this. How many youth push themselves to go in sub-degree temperatures to go on a camp out? We're not doing it to inflict pain. We're doing it for fun, but you have to work for it. The hike up to the cabin and then cooking old school on a cook stove and barbecuer without any power. You know, that is pushing yourself a little bit. And I think it's good for the kids. And so I want to tie that in with what I have behind here, which is the Manti cottage. So this is a pioneer cottage that we restored several years ago. I'll spend some more videos on it, but this is an 1851 cottage. And like I say, we'll dedicate a whole video to it. But when I bought it, it was in complete shambles. It was covered up with pink siding and forgotten. And really no one saw its value. But you know what? I saw the value. And now once it's been restored, I think everyone can see the value. And, you know, it just got me thinking with kids these days, you know, not my scouts. I mean, they're all out willing to you know, high adventure and to push themselves. And so I think that they maybe have their hands a little bit more callous than maybe some children. And boy, we need to do that. We need more of that in this world. And I kind of liken it to these houses, you know, houses these days. Not just kids these days, but houses these days. You know, we build these beautiful houses. And you know one thing that's lacking in almost every house? Let me see if I can get it right there. Chimneys. We build these beautiful houses, $500,000, $1 million houses, and we all rely on one form of heat. And you know, I would take an old house like this with a couple of chimneys over a brand new modern house without a chimney any day. You know, it's surprising to me where we've had so many supply disruptions that more people don't think that way. You know, not everyone's gonna have their head in the rabbit hole like maybe I do, but still, I mean, after everything that's happening in Germany, how come that can't wake more people up? You know, in Germany, you probably heard, but they have a shortage of fireplaces. Why? Well, they had outsourced a lot of their energy needs to somebody who wasn't too kind to them. I shouldn't say he wasn't too kind to them, but I don't know, to outsource your energy to Putin, maybe not the smartest thing, right? Then comes along some bombing of Nord Stream, and oh my gosh, are we going to have enough energy? And then everyone's like, oh my gosh, we need a backup form of heat, because a lot of those houses are heated with natural gas and they haven't had to worry about it. But they did this winter. And I don't know the rest of that story. I'll look that up. Or if you guys have any videos, put it in the comments, because to me, you can learn from that crisis over there and cut and paste that into your American modern life. Or you can just see that headline and move on, only for it to play out sometime in our day and age, in our modern life, in our neck of the woods. I just don't think that's too far of a stretch, guys. I think it's important. If we do little things to prepare ourselves, then I don't know, when the storms come, maybe it's not quite as scary, right? It reminded me of a scripture, and I wrote it down. I want to read it to you. It's in Amos in the Bible, but it says, I will smite the winter house with the summer house. So together, both of them get smited, right? And the houses of ivory shall perish, and the great houses shall have an end. And I'm not saying I know what all that means, but I am saying you can have a big, beautiful ivory house or a great house, and you know what? If you don't have heat in it, so what? So maybe we can make some videos on fireplaces and what I did inside of this cottage. I can't do it now because I've got somebody in there. But you know, this chimney actually years ago was tore down. So when I bought it, it wasn't there. And last year, it was a pain in the butt, guys. But you know what I did? I broke into the roof, cut a hole in it, and I tapped into the existing chimney flue, and I bought some metal piping, some stainless piping, and I restored it. So I made it functional and beautiful. I did it to that one too. And so I can show you videos on what I did, because I made it, you know, where it's up to code and where aesthetically it looks like the original Pioneer chimneys. And again, if I want to have a winter house, you know, I want to have one that's functional. And so it's kind of cool. It's right on our 1 acre parcel with the rest of our homestead, with our house and our greenhouse and some of the other things. So we'll make more videos on it. But I just thought it was a good time to just kind of introduce the topic of what can we do inside of our homes to be a little bit more prepared. I'm encouraged on a daily basis when I'm doing projects like this and like this. Sorry, I can't see my finger because of the glare. I don't do that out of fear. Yeah, it's out of preparation. But I mean, first of all, it looks fantastic. I love historic preservation. I even used old brick just because I'm a nerd like that. And the end of the day though, you know, I've had power outages. I've had my furnaces go out a couple of times. And you know what I do? I just immediately go over to my wood pile and I get some wood in the house. So not just at the cottage, but at my house, I've got a fireplace. Why not? Anyway, if you are interested in learning more about the cottage, let me know. Maybe I'll make a video of it as well. But let's go on to the greenhouse. All right, I brought in the heavy hitter camera woman, Mrs. Homestead, Becca. So we left this closed up while we went to a basketball game. It's 1 o'clock. It's 28 degrees outside, so it's still pretty cold, but we are getting direct sun, as you can tell from the squints. And so we're 100 degrees inside the greenhouse on a cold winter day, 28 degrees outside, 100 degrees inside. And so I just want to show you what this does for venting, maybe talk a little bit more about the tubes, and then I've got Mr. Scientific Gun here, and I can show you some readings of the greenhouse. The half that we painted black, the barrels and the back wall, and then the other half that we left the same. And so we're going to show you some data, but first I want to show you what happens with our vent system. You see it? Is it billowing?
I can't see it through the phone, but I can see it in real life.
Oh, I can see it. Crazy.
Here, I'm gonna back up a little bit.
Look at the plume. So come inside and I'll tell you a little bit more about what's going on. If you can't see it, just imagine a cloud escaping from the greenhouse, because that's what's happening. Oh, you got, a much more steady hand than I do. Okay, I want to show them this, Miss Becca. Okay. So, because we use these windows a lot for ventilation, look at my cute little pulley system. Because these little buggers do a lot. So on a winter day like this, we actually don't use the top venting. We'll talk about that another time. That's for summer. But wintertime, we need to get up there a lot, and I'm lazy. I don't want to have a ladder. So we just open that. So we'll open both sides. We'll drop pretty quickly from 100 down to like 85. 100's too hot, but I wanted to kind of show you what I mean, that this thing can charge quickly. And I want to charge my wall. So right now, because I opened that, our little pipes, I mean, it's blowing a ton. How do I describe a ton? A whole lot. Like a vent. If you put your hand by a vent, that amount of airflow, that's what I'm getting right now. Can you see that vent, or do I need to go by another one?
Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah, so...
It's like the same amount that's going out that window.
So it's warmed up that from 28 degrees outside, though. It's warmed it up because it's down in the ground. I assume that these would be warmer. One of these days I will check that, because each one of these extra runs goes at least another 10 foot longer in Mother Earth to charge. But man, they are all blowing big time. And I've only opened one window, so when I open the other one, these will actually start billowing a lot more. Okay. Whatever. Now the task at hand. This is for my pizza oven. I think it will work. If it's not scientific enough, it's fine. I was horrible at science. Way bad. Okay, so we're going to get a reading on this side, not painted, compared to that side, painted. So the planter stem wall is 78 degrees. Remember that. And the water barrel, 72. So come over here. Oh, by the way, where did that pea go? I've got to eat it right now. So I'll leave some for the kids. I never get these things. The peas and the strawberries. My littlest, the cute one, the one that is like so sweet, she eats them all. I never get them. Things are a mess because we've been painting. Okay, I think we were 72 and 78. Oh, wow. 98 degrees. So what was
78?
78 is 98. So
Wow.
I always knew, don't hate me. Go ahead and hate me in the comments. I got broad shoulders. I knew it'd make a difference. That's very sizable. I do have another question though for all of you guys that might be hating right now. Did our batteries die? No, here we go. Okay, and that's 88. So, wow.
72 and 88.
Yeah, and then both of these were 88. So, one thing that's interesting is it's heating the water barrels more. So, like both of these walls are about the same temperature, but over there, the water barrels were less degrees than the stem wall. That's interesting. That's actually good. Like to me, that's
Water probably heats slow and
Yeah.
releases slow.
yeah. But the water's what I kind of need the most to charge up because we got 2,000 gallons of water. So if you charge that up, I can only do good. I know it's going to do good. I just don't know how much good. So here's my other question for maybe you brainiacs, because I don't know all the answers. I'm just telling you what I'm seeing. Is okay. Well, yeah. So it's really hot. So when it gets cold, maybe what we need to do is another reading later, after a warm day like this, and see how much hotter it is right off the bat. Like how.
So after the sun goes down.
Yeah. What is this? Gosh, that's hot. Oh, that's interesting. Where the water's not, right here, burning hot. Down here where the water is colder. So I think that's just part of that theory that water inside heats up slower. But that's good because it's going to release slower. Okay, so we're just going to do the back concrete wall. That's 100 degrees. It's been getting full sun all day. 100 degrees. And a very similar spot as far as sun in the full light. .94 degrees. So I'm surprised it. 82 degrees down there. Interesting. I wonder if I hit that metal on accident. I'm trying to get the same distance, 82 to 94. So the back wall that's getting just massively hit and hammered, there's not as much of a difference, but there is a difference. So cosmetically, I'm painting the whole thing black regardless. I think that's a huge success for paint. That's like an obvious do it. If you're building a greenhouse, do it. I will give you updates down the road on how our paint holds up, but honestly, even if it kind of wears off, I think it looks better than before anyway. So I'm glad we did it, and I'm also glad I was patient. I never I would normally stay up till 1 or 2 in the morning and just paint the other side, but yeah.
Fun to do an experiment though.
I wanted some data. So anyway, thank you. I hope this is helpful. I know it gets into the weeds a little bit, but we're just trying to raise the efficiencies a little bit at a time. And at this point, because we have done a mass of the things that are making it work, there's just little things left to do. And I think this was definitely worth it. We'll share with you some of the other winter ideas that we have. I'm gonna go open that other window, so I don't know if you wanna stick with me or not. If you get a chance to share the video, to like the video, subscribe to the channel. I know everyone says that, but it's huge for what we're trying to do. So I'd like to keep making videos. If we grow and keep growing, and I feel like there's a need or that there's an interest, we'll just keep doing it. So I'm gonna go vent that out, and Becca, you can just turn the camera off whenever you decide. Or you can talk to them. Okay, we're back for some more readings. Yes, it's still the same day I got back from scout camp, and no, I haven't showered, but that's the kind of day it's been. Right when I got home from scout camp, we had 3 basketball games to go to, and we're missing 2 more tonight because we had other things, and we're split up. Anyway, I want to give you some raw data at 4:45 p.m. It's 23 degrees outside and 75 degrees inside. So we're going to give you readings now that we have had a full day of the thermal mass being charged. Okay, so the planter box wall is 70 degrees. Like a ninja. Holy cow. 82 degrees. Okay. Should we go ahead and just do this one? Hot water barrel. 69 degrees. Cold water barrel. 60 degrees. That's a 10-degree difference.
9.
Oh, excuse me. The back wall, 77 on the cold wall. But how do you know I'm telling you the truth? 86 degrees. Now the one thing is, this is the first reading, and it's after 1 day of charging. So we'll see if this holds later tonight, which I'll get you another reading, and if it holds in the morning, meaning we wake up in the morning and it's still different, then the next question is, well, what happens to these charges after multiple days? Okay, we're back in the greenhouse. It is now 10 o'clock. The same day as the few minutes ago. Just giving you more data. The outside is 14 degrees now. It's dropping really fast. Inside is at 50 degrees without any help. So that's slightly trending warmer in the greenhouse. So I think we have good things going on. The barrel without being painted black is 50.9, so 51. And the wall is 58. 51, 58. So over here, $54, so 3 degrees warmer. $62, so 4 degrees warmer. Now we were out here about, what was it, a half hour ago? And the spread was actually a little bit more. But the other thing too is the outside temperature has dropped like 2 degrees. So there's a clear difference. It was wider than this. What are we here? 3 and 4 degrees difference between the two. Interesting. So it's doing its thing. We've been cold all day, so the sun has been down since about what, 5? So we've had the sun down for 5 hours. So that's a good sign. It's stored up and it's releasing well. Let me just scoot past you here. Excuse me. Let's get a reading right here. So this back wall, let's try it in 2 places. So 63. Yep, 63. And just right next to itself, 58, 58. Wow, so that's 5 degrees. That was 63 to 58, right?
Yeah.
Again, we're in the weeds, but that's a significant difference. We're on the same wall. So clearly, there's no reason not to paint. The thermal mass experiment is panning out. We've tested someone else's hypothesis. This is not our idea. We're just kind of copying things that we've learned. Oh wow. So remember just in the last video how this was burning hot right here where there's no water. The water's about right here. So this is actually quite cold. Down here is, noticeably warmer. So I'd say this is warm, and I'd say this is actually cold to the touch, which is what we'd expect. There's hardly any thermal mass in plastic, but the water underneath that heated up is retaining, and now it is expending or expelling out that BTU. So painting it black is worth the cost. It probably cost me, actually the cement paint was kind of expensive. I should have shopped around. It was like $40 times 2, so $80. How much was that spray paint?
$6 a can.
So probably another 40. So we're like $120 to spray paint and paint the cement. I mean, it's definitely worth it because we don't have to. I mean, if that's saving us anything in propane, or if we turn on electric heater, which we don't want to do, that's just saving us money and keeping it constant for the plants. So. Okay, it worked. I'm glad we did it. All right. Sorry, we forgot to tell you the planter box stem wall. That is 50.5. So we're going to say 51, unpainted. And 54. So 3 degrees. That's 55. Oh, probably in the shade from that. So yeah, 4 degrees. It works. Good morning. It's now the day after, so that would be Sunday morning, about 8:40. Last night it got down to 6 degrees, and the greenhouse right now is 47 degrees. So we trended warmer for sure. It's definitely not all just because of the black thermal mass. We had 2 days of really good sunlight charging everything up. I've already went and done some readings, and everything's about the same. So I have, it's about 45 and 44 with the two readings from the water and the wall, and that's the same with the black as well. So that means with a colder night like that, everything kind of got down to, you know, kind of what is our stable low temperature of 45. Without the sun shining, those temperatures went from 45 and we're pushing that 40 mark. So I don't like the 40 marks. The plants seem to be doing okay with it. But anyway, we have learned that painting the thermal mass black is worth it. It does heat it up more. I can't wait to get more of that in here. I think that will only help the greenhouse. And we just pray for sunlight at least every 3 or 4 days to get everything charged in the greenhouse. So there's your update, there's your data. Most of the videos won't be this in the weeds, but we wanted to do it while we were in process of painting.